Hey folks, Zafu here from Raid Leader Exchange, and I'm going to quickly talk through the timings for the Kael'thas Just Heal cheese strat. This will cover off, hopefully, the timings that you need to be aware of, as well as some of the more nuanced parts of the fight that aren't covered in video guides. This will be a very rough and ready video. I've put this together in about 10 minutes just after work today. So, on the pull, you'll notice that I've got some channeling groups assigned, and I'll talk about those in a second. That's really important. The other things you want to be signing before you even pull this boss are the any druid vortexes you have for the phoenixes, any CC that you need to use on those as well. You'll also want to assign cooldowns for each of the 4 DPS shields that you're going to see during this fight. The best way to assign these, honestly, is to put 3-minute cooldowns on the very first one, 2-minute cooldowns on the second one, and then 2-minute cooldowns on the third and 3-minute cooldowns on the fourth. You will just have to play around to see which classes have their cooldowns up at which point. I would recommend saving potions for the second set of shields, just in case somebody misses their cooldown or in case you've got somebody dead, etc. So, on the pull, we're going to bring Darithos to the middle of the room here. We're going to keep the entire raid out of range of our shaman healers, who you can see here. They're going to pop Ascendant straight away. If somebody's too close, they will actually heal that person instead of the boss, so it's really important that you're staying in the middle. Another thing I'll just quickly highlight here as well on the pull is we've assigned interrupts to each of the 4 occultists at the side of the room. You'll interrupt those as they start casting, and they will come straight into melee, and we use A-Bomb Limb to bring them in as well. Once they're in, I drop a Spear of Bastion to stop them from teleporting away, and I also use my AoE taunt to make sure that they stay attacking me instead of moving to somebody else. As soon as they die, you want to spam heal the Essence Fonts up to full, and then ideally you want to pop Guardian Spirit after the Essence Fonts have been done. So you use a Guardian Spirit on the pull, and then a Guardian Spirit after the Essence Fonts to make sure you get full benefit. Remember, the Essence Fonts don't benefit from the Guardian Spirit directly, so the main reason why you want to wait for the Essence Fonts to be healed to full before you pop it is so you don't lose any healing on the boss. Once the Ascendance is down, my Resto Shaman calls that, and Group 1 immediately start channeling on the pedestals here to get as much health into the boss as possible. Group 2 will follow directly after as soon as that group have got their 5 stacks. They'll just step away, and you can see my Group 2 ready to go here. The other thing I'm calling for is a stop on DPS on Darithos. If you kill Darithos, he instantly triggers the Rockbound Vanquisher spawn, which you don't want. Instead, if you leave him alive, the Rockbound Vanquisher will not spawn until this timer here runs out. You'll see that pop into the middle of the screen in a second. You ideally want to push the boss to 45% before that timer is over. And you can see we just made it there. Once that's pushed, you kill off Darithos, and the raid is running to the entrance of the room, which is on my left-hand side. I'm going to pick up the boss and just run him directly over to that point. Don't worry too much, he doesn't hit very hard. The only thing you do need to be wary of is those tank cleaves. Just face them away as you move them back. The Ember Blast is going to get stacked in with us. Normally it will spawn on the raid, but there it spawned on our Death Knight who's dealing with Phoenixes, so he had to run in nice and quickly. You're then baiting a cleave, and ideally you want to bait that back over the original fire, and then you're going straight into the first shield, which is the first set of cooldowns here. You can see our DPS are pushing that now. This Weakor is really handy, and it actually came with the Castle Nathria pack. Shows you how much of the shield left you've got to do. Useful for progress. Stack in the second Ember Blast, and we straight away get a cleave after that, which we need to move out of. That's Ember Blast into cleave. We're then going to kill off these Phoenixes here. The reason we do that is because we're using our Balanced Druid Convokes on the next shield, and ideally we want all of that Convoke damage to go into the boss. If the Phoenixes die there, they'll be dead for 20 seconds, and the boss will take full damage from those Convokes, which is now. See, we push through this again. Immediately after this, we get Blazing Surge, and then we move the boss ready to bait one more Ember Blast and one more Blazing Surge. And ideally, you need to push him before the third Cloak of Flames cast, because you won't have the cooldowns for it. We've got our DK assigned to control the Phoenixes throughout the entire fight. He only comes onto the boss damage during the shields. And there we use a Vortex to make sure that the Phoenixes are held. Now, this phase is probably the hardest part of the fight, and you need to be really, really good with your pushing here, particularly on healing the boss. So the moment the boss is targetable again, the healers are going to start spam healing him straight away. The healers are going to stand around here, and anyone who can channel on the pedestals is going to channel straight away while we wait for this Vanquisher to spawn. The rest of the raid moves around any fire in the middle of the room and gets ready for that Vanquisher cast. Keep an eye on your tank's health while this is happening, because they're still going to have a dot left over from the boss. We pick up the Vanquisher, and I ask my DPS to just do as much damage to that as they can. The main thing here is going to be getting the healing on the boss, so anyone who can off-heal at all is instructed to do so. We pop Heroism right before the Cloak of Flames cast to go through and heal that as quickly as we can. You see that gets absolutely deleted. And then anyone who can heal the boss, including Heart of the Wild Druids, monks, paladins, etc., will be spam healing at this point. For the DPS that can't do that, they'll be on these Occultists. You want to, again, ranged interrupt those, make sure they're aggroed onto the tank, drop a Vortex or a Spear to keep them locked down, keep them stunned, and then heal up these Essence Fonts again as quickly as you can. That's a massive amount of healing into the boss. The skip here is that you want to ideally push the boss before this Rockbound Vanquisher comes in, which is a pretty tight timing. So I'll show that again. You can see the timer here, and you can see the boss health up here. As we get to 90%, we skip that Rockbound Vanquisher cast, but only just. If you do get the Vanquisher, it's not a problem. Your tanks can pick it up, but it does mean you might have a bit less damage on the shields, particularly if you've got Druids using Convoke. We pick the boss up, move him to the back of the room here on the orange marker, and we essentially repeat the first phase 1. So Ember Blast, into Cleave, into Shield. This stage we've got 4 Phoenixes up, so our Death Knight is on controlling those again. However, we do use Vortexes and knockbacks to make sure that they're out of the way while we nuke down the Cloak, which is coming in now. We use our third set of cooldowns at this point. Push it as quickly as we possibly can. And then we go straight into an Ember Blast, a Cleave, and then we move the boss. So baiting the Cleave here, back, moving through, and then we get another Ember Blast before the next shield. If you can kill off the Phoenixes, do it, but it's not always easy when you've got 4 of them up. Priority here is to push the boss. Nuke through the second shield with all of the remaining cooldowns and potions, and then it's an easy kill as long as you don't die to the Cleave. Hopefully this video has helped to explain some of the timings. The main one really is pushing in that second phase 1, and it is a hard push. If you get the Vanquisher, it's not the end of the world, but if you get the Soul Infusers, it's pretty much game over. So you really want to try and be pushing the boss to skip those. So everyone who can heal should be healing at that point. If you've got any questions, feel free to post them in the channel. And if you're watching this on YouTube, the Raid Leader Exchange Discord is up, and we've got channels for each boss in Castle Nathria where people can discuss and share strategies, tips and tricks, and other good stuff. Hopefully we'll see you there. Thank you.